Okay. Testing, testing, one, two, testing, one, two, testing. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I am live. Okay. Yeah. Pleasant good evening, a pleasant good night to you all who are now joining. Good night, good night, good night. This is Dr. Matthews live on the GMS Live Voice of Democracy and GMS Live Radio Guyana. Saying a pleasant good night to you all who are now joining from around the world. Welcome you all tonight. Before I start tonight's talk, uh, yes, I cannot go so late again, but I'm choosing this time slot now because I want to come on and let people know that I'm still around. I had taken a few days to look after something important. I have gotten through with it. So, to those who are looking, to those who are listening on the GMS Live Radio Guyana, and also who is attached live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Share the live. Let your friends know that Dr. Matthews is on the air tonight. We're going to discuss some things that are. I'm going to talk about the Poli-Tricks tonight and the trickiness of the Poli-Tricks. So, to those who are listening, bear me some time. I want to make some special announcement and I want to make some special announcement and I want you to bear with me before I start tonight's program. At no time at all I have given anybody any permission to take orders of the Black Love t-shirts, the Black Love pens, the Black Love cups, caps, laundry. I had no time at all. I have given anybody any permission to make any orders or take any orders pertaining to the Black Love brand. The only person has that permission, that's me. I hope I'm finally clear about that. Someone called me today, I think it's today or yesterday, said that he has taken some orders pertaining to, and it left me a little bit shocked because the only person who would do that, that's me. I don't want anybody to take orders from anyone and set a different price. That's one. And number two, there's a new different twist to it. When you get the t-shirts, it will only have my signature on it. So that's make it original. Anyone I find selling or trying to rebrand my Black Love brand in which I own in Guyana, I will take them to court. Guarantee. So I want to make it clear that I am not, I have not given anyone permission to take orders on behalf of the Black Love brand. Good. Pertaining to the other case at hand that people wants to know, we have gotten some distance between the case. We have made some inroads between on the case that is ahead of me, that is on Facebook. We have, and how should I put it over? We have a number that matches the voice. That's all. So we're going to proceed from there. Otherwise than that, let me start tonight's show. So welcome you. I want to welcome all of you from Guyana to the Caribbean Isles, the West Indian Isles, the Pacific Isles, the British Virgin Isles, US Virgin Isles, Mexico, US, Canada, UK, EU, Beijing, Hong Kong, uh, Taiwan, Japan, the Korean Peninsula, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, India, Australia, New Zealand Isles, Tonga Isles, the African continent, especially from South Africa, the Maldives, to the South American continent, as far away as Chile and Argentina and Belize, no, sorry, and Colombia and Venezuela and Brazil, Suriname. People who are looking at me as far as way as from French and Dutch Guyana, the Netherlands, Curacao, Trinidad and Tobago, and to the Island Republic of Barbados. Pleasant good evening to you all. Thank you very much for tuning in to tonight's program. Well, tonight's discussion shouldn't be hard. If you want, you can still call in. I have the phone, but not as yet. We got to discuss. I want to make it absolutely clear to everyone what is happening in Europe and the continent of Europe, or the combination of the United European States and Ukraine and Russia and all these things, is of no interest to Gavin Matthews. I want to make it absolutely clear what is happening in Europe, Ukraine, with Russia, Georgia, and all these Baltic states are no interest to Gavin Matthews. Simply, I can't find a better way to put it. And the reason why I'm saying so, can you imagine these people are operating as Anglo-Saxon, that means white power. You listen to the media, that's how they sound. You listen to how they talk, that's how they sound. Let them deal with their stuff. Let them deal with whosoever is making them uncomfortable. Gavin Matthews is putting no foot into it. As a matter of fact, I don't know why Guyana and the Caribbean states are trying to denounce what Russia is doing, or trying to denounce whatever is happening in Europe. Because I'm going to tell you this, whatever is happening over there, that's based upon their concerns. Our concerns are still going on. Our concerns are still going on. Believe you me, the black concern, the black people concern, that civil war by Anglo-Saxons against the Negro race or the Aboriginal race, it is still going on. You see how uncomfortable people are feeling right now? Not only African students, but Indian students, students from Asia. They are being marginalized. And it's happening as we speak. And these people believe and behave that they're the mightiest out of the entire world. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. Let, according to Guyanese proverbs, let them try there with the stuff. We got we own thing to try about here in Guyana. So I want to make it absolutely clear. Whatever's going on there, it's not of my concern. Believe you me, they are now experiencing something like that. We are experiencing worse than that for over 600 years. Okay, so not Gavin Matthews. So let's get to the topic now. Remember the last time I was on this program, I talked about food security and how important is food security. You know, let me be fair with a lot of people. Food security in any country becomes the backbone, the strength of that country. As long as a country is being able to feed its citizens, as long as a country is able to feed its citizens, food security is a must. If you cannot feed your citizens, well, then you're unable to govern your citizens properly. Reason why I say what I said back then, it is because this is how economically the West destabilizes any economy. If they come to your economy, if they come to your country and they want to trade in gold, in diamond, in oil that you see there is, and they want to be a dominant in it, the first thing they do is to take away your food security. When they take away your food security, it's impossible for you to react to them because your nation goes hungry. People would go hungry. So now you have to depend upon them now to give you handouts. You have to depend upon them now to feed your people. And the things that they feed your people are always going to destroy them. Now, at the CARICOM summit in Belize, that's one of the major topics. I said to you on the show last, I said, take away the food security from Guyana, you take away its dependency from the Caribbean nations to feed the CARICOM nations. I said that. And you see what's happening now? The main basics is to support Guyana in securing food security for the entire Caribbean nation because they're now getting the drift of what is going to happen in Guyana. So they know that this little boy, this preschooler that we got here, ain't got much sense. So they're trying to put some sense into his head so he could understand. So he could understand the importance of food security in the region. If Guyana loses its food security, the entire Caribbean nation will starve. I'm serious. You want to know why? Look at the amount of money they spent in the last 2 years of importing food in Guyana alone. Why do we have to import food in such a large scale when we grow actually everything? So, what happened? The World Food Organization puts restrictions upon Guyana on how they shall grow their food. So, they have to import a lot of pesticides, a lot of chemicals to add to the ground that can destroy the strength of the earth in which the plant now needs to proceed in its growth. All these things they're adding to put a strain upon Guyana's food security. Believe you me, it is a must. But here, what is the hurtful part of the thing now? You have a national entity of natural of NARI, as a matter of fact, National Agricultural Institute, where it's the foundation of how food is now being preserved, how it's been studied, which areas in Guyana you can get for certain crops to grow. And you take 100 million US dollars, 20 odd plus billion Guyana dollars, and put it into Gaisuku that has no understanding of how to create or to have food security. Now you could imagine that you spending 100 million US dollars, 20.7 billion Guyana dollars, to put into Gaisuku, which was a failed entity from since the beginning of time and will always be a failed entity. Now you could imagine these common criminals that we have. Understand what I'm talking about. We're talking about food security. The same 100 million US dollars we can take and put into NARI, National Agricultural Institute. You understand? That's a research institute, that researches the soils that we have in Guyana. Where can we grow certain products? You understand? Where can we have certain things done so we can have proper food security in and around the Caribbean nation? No, we don't think about Nari. Put the money in Gaisuku. That's the best place to go. Turn Gaisuku into now an agricultural institute to study about food security, not only for Guyana, but for the region. It's putting money in people's pocket, eh? You see how this thing going? All right. We talking the Poli-Tricks today. Poli-Tricks we talking about. So that's the most disgusting thing that this de facto administration can do. Very disgusting. The next thing I want to talk about that is really, really, I think it's an impasse. I think it's something that is out of the way. How can we as Guyanese really sit down and accept what is happening now in our country? How can we do that? You know what's bothering me? Here what's bothering me. We have external entities like companies who are coming to Guyana to invest in Guyana. And they're not talking about the welfare of Guyanese. They're not. They're not even thinking about how Guyana can perform in the next 20 years from now. What will they invest in? If they'll invest in education, science, what have you? Nothing. We are left to fight for nothing because nothing has been given to us. Let's be fair. We do not have a political system that can bargain for us as Guyanese. The politicians are studying about their pockets. They're talking about hundreds of millions of US dollars to be spent. But all they're talking about is their pockets. Think about it. Understand what I'm saying. We're not going any way farther than where we are right now. We have a nation of people who are yet still to be educated, yet still to be, as mean, educated politically, yet still to be given the kind of knowledge that they need pertaining to how the survival of not only the citizens as citizens but the economy can help them to sustain life. We don't we don't know a lot of things. We're still in the past. Guyana right now is like 500 years behind at the speed in which the world is going to. Think about it. At the speed in which the world is going to, we're living in the past. And you know what? We don't care a thing because all they do is promote and keep promoting entertainment. And they keep doing it all the time. Look at the amount of money that is being spent on entertainment in this country. It's mind-boggling. Believe you me. Where do these people get this money from? Because we support them. Let's get serious. We support them. We get down on the alcohol. We get down on the cigarette. And you know what? The politicians want us to remain that way. The politicians, as a matter of fact. They want us to remain that way. Uneducated, uninformed, unsupported. They don't care how we see life. It's hard. Can't you imagine a 500 billion plus budget? Guyana dollars? 500 billion plus. And what are we gaining from it? Nothing. That budget passed a couple of days, a month ago. We ain't start getting nothing from it. We just seeing fancy roads and lights going up. And life is just becoming more and more difficult. The education standard needs to be uplifted. How much money are you putting into increasing the education? You know, instead instead we turn up at nightclubs and at the stadium to party. Let us turn up at a political representative and ask that they make sure that the education standard for our children are being uplifted. Add five or six or seven other more curriculums that we can pay for. Let us be the brainchild of the Caribbean as Guyanese. Let us be the country that everybody looks to, to have astronauts, engineers, pilots, all these things that are concerning to present day life. Let them look at Guyana, where these attributes, these children that holds these attributes are coming from. No, no, they don't want that. The more we remain ignorant of the fact, because ignorant means not knowledgeable of the fact, it is the better for us. I know this is a constant topic that I talk about all the time. I know that. And believe you me, where is our standing in society? Think about it. They don't want us they consider us as a black nation. I want all to those who are looking and listening on the live and also on the online radio. They consider us as a black nation. They don't want us to be involved in the kind of technology that this world is run by. Check it. 90% of Exxon investment, we pay for it. 90% of the people who works at Exxon or who works with the subsidiaries of Exxon are foreigners. They don't want Guyanese to be a part of that. We got to try it with security guard maids and drivers. The first thing they say, we don't have the companies to invest in it because the companies are what they may call are questionable characters, or the owners are questionable characters. We got people driving around the place handing out money like if we are in need of it. No, we are in need of security. We are in need of an economic base that we can develop and depend upon as Guyanese to evaluate ourselves, to move from one place to the next, upward, evolve. That's what we want to do. We don't want handouts. We want to be self reliant as a people. We want to be able to say who comes and who goes. We want to sit down at the bargaining table and tell Exxon, look, pack up your traps and go because you're not giving us a better deal for our oil. We don't need a 40-year monopoly on things. You know, I'm going to reiterate in what I was talking about early, the food security. And you know why I'm going to reiterate on it? Guyanese. If we don't start farming now, if we don't start securing our future to feed our children now, we wouldn't have a future. We will be a failed state. Let me tell you why. When we lose the strength to food security, we will be attacked. War would be imminent. War would be imminent. We will be attacked. And because the reason why I'm saying so, it is because when you lack the sense of food security, take a good look at what is going on right now in Ukraine. Ukraine is one of the coldest country on the European bloc. One of the coldest country right now in Ukraine is like -2. Take a good look. You see when Putin decide to attack that country in the bitter cold of the winter when nothing grows. In the bitter cold of the winter when Ukraine has no food security, when everything for them is imported, that's when Putin attacked their country. And not only that, but because of the inability to feed themselves, it's what makes them more vulnerable. All the billions of dollars that they got, they can't feed themselves. Take a good look. Yes, there are many different reasons why he attacked Ukraine, but he did it in a position where the inability to feed themselves is not there because they have no food security. Everybody could talk what they feel like. And he attacked them by air, by sea, and by land. That means everything is blocked off. Nothing comes in or goes out unless bordering countries open up and let them in. That's what is going on. Because the lack of food security put them in a very vulnerable position. Rewind back, look at Guyana. As last I know it, since 1992 to 1994, we were still feeding the Caribbean as a country. We were still feeding the Caribbean. Made in Guyana, products from Guyana and produce from Guyana was always on the shelves in the Caribbean nation. Now that is slowly vanishing away because you know why? Guyana, which was supposed to be the breadbasket of the Caribbean, cannot anymore because their main interest by political parties is not food security. You understand what I mean? Now you got external groups. You heard the sitting chair of the Caribbean community, the Belizean prime minister. He talked about food security should be the main important initiative in the conversation of the Caribbean group of nations, of part of the CARICOM community. He talked about it. We need to see beyond the greed for literal cash because that's all we're seeing. That's all the politicians are pushing. A piece of paper with little ink and some writing on it. We're still missing the bigger picture. A country that is unable to feed itself, a country that is unable to feed itself is in dire straits. And when I talk about, I saw somebody saying -2 is not that cold. Well, here, let me tell you something. If 34, 35 degrees Fahrenheit in Guyana at nights is be a little chilly, much less -2 in Guyana. We need to understand that we need to get ourselves out of the block that we have it in. Seriously, the access to fresh food, vegetables, dairy items, it's the more healthier a nation becomes. When a nation lacks the access to fresh food, and have to eat out of a can, you will have problems. You will have serious medical issues. You check a population that consumes 90% of its food out of a can that has so much preservatives, it is destructive to the human body. I don't want to live in an area that's -2 degrees and can't eat nothing fresh. Why I think they're leaving from over there to come over here? And we're leaving from over here to go over there. Can you see the mathematics in it? We're leaving a place that has all the resources, everything to feed ourselves, to clothe ourselves, to house ourselves, everything. We're leaving a land that has all the resources to go and live in a place that has nothing but just sheer cold. Can you imagine that? I was a little child when I used to look at the television and see people playing in snow. So round up the snowball and throw it at one another and playing and laughing, Television, tell a lie to your vision. And never forget 1985. My father took me to the US on Christmas Eve day. I felt good as a little child. But when we cleared the customs and went out, it was so cold I fly back inside. I tell him, me ain't going out there. But he said you wanted to see the snow. I'm telling you now, to those who are looking at this show, please preserve your land. Do not concrete your entire plot of land. Save some for your kitchen garden. Start storing up on food. A time is going to come when we will need it. Food will cost the world war. Believe you me, food and water. Not having access to fresh water and fresh food will cause a war. And a lot of people will die from starvation. When people are starving, you got multiple disease that you cannot cure because your immune system is weak. And we sit down and we hallucinate with a lot of nonsense. It's time we start eradicating these nonsense from out of our heads. It's making us look real stupid sometimes. Sometimes when we begin to talk, the craziness that comes out of our mouth, we think we're making sense, but we're not. You know, for the past couple of days when I was trying to resuscitate myself and rethink where I am and what do I need to do to propel the cause in Guyana, I need not to stop because I'm seeing each and every single day nothing is being told to us, nothing is being presented to us. That doesn't matter which political party, it doesn't matter who's poly-tricking. At the end of the day, we are receiving nothing, Guyanese. We're receiving promises only, and promises we cannot live by. We need to make that change in our lives. We need to get up, stand up for our rights, the right to liberty, the right to life, and the right to property. We need to do and stand up for those three things as human beings because the Anglo-Saxons is taking our place in the world today and they're coming with brute force and ignorance. They don't care. We think money is power. Money is not power. You know what is power? Knowledge and unity. That is power. Knowledge and unity surpasses money. They paint a picture to us that that's all we need is money. Y- You know, we are being fooled constantly. We've been taken advantage of constantly. So many things are happening to us constantly on a daily basis as Guyanese, and yet still somehow the other way not getting it right. We aren't. And these people are doing these things just in front of our faces, and there's nothing that we can do about it. Nothing. Let me ask you something. Since that we're not making progress in the education system, there's no new curriculum that is added. There's no new education standard that is added to Guyanese, the lives of Guyanese that are expected to evolve. What direction are we going? Can any one of the politicians tell you? What direction are we going? How can we educate our children to secure to secure their future? We'll be a land of waste if we do not pay attention to what is going on. I'm serious. We wouldn't be a progressive people if we keep up doing the things that we're doing right now. We can't and we wouldn't because we're too blind. And I cannot believe educated people are acting and operating in this same manner. I mean, I understand they're products of the system, but oh my gosh, are you serious? Can't we come to terms or grips that we need to change our lifestyles? We do. And let me show you one of the instances. We need to have respect for our women, especially our black women. We need to show them respect. We need to show them love. If we start this by showing each other respect and love and understanding, helping each other understand that we cannot live without the other, we will be stronger communities. We will be binded to the strength of unity among each other and the love for our women. Seriously, we are not going anywhere as a country. Too many things are happening, and then we sit back and we say nothing because we tell ourselves nothing can be done. Something can be done. We need to eradicate this lawlessness that is tearing apart of our society. I don't need you to understand it as facts that I'm talking. I need you to understand this is what the political system take advantage of. When a country is uneducated, when a people is misinformed, the political system suppresses you more so you can be more less informed. It suppresses you so you can become a slave to the system because that is what and where they want you to be. They will never change your ideas. They don't want you to become more educated. I mean, come on, let's look at it. $547 billion. And what are we gaining from it? More contractors? How is the citizens developing? Are we serious? We can afford to give every Guyanese household 1 million Guyana dollars, 5,000 US. We can afford to do that. It can be 500 plus million because the working force is 450,000. But I'm saying we can afford to do that. We can. It's not a hard thing. We can afford to give every household $1 million to kickstart. Let us be a progressive nation. Let them know that they could only invest the money in Guyana. They could only spend it in Guyana. They could only spend it in their communities. You know, when I look around, especially when I see the kind of food that we eat, nothing. Guyana is now dominated with exported, imported food. Every time you check the garbage, you see the supermarkets, everything down to the lemonade now is imported. I mean, where are we going with 500 plus billion? Where are we going? What measures are we putting in place? Don't tell me that you want to raise public servant salary and raise the minimum wage and all these crazy loony toonies that you want to say to people. That's a falsehood. Nobody wants to hear that. Economically, how can we develop? Educationally, how can we arise to that occasion? Let Guyanese manage Guyana. Let Guyanese take charge of Guyana. Educate them, put them in positions that they can be able to manage Guyana today or tomorrow you die. Let's get serious. We want to make a change. Let's start making that change. A lot of us in this old age, we want that we suddenly feel sweet. There's a lot of things. And then we're fighting down the younger ones who are coming to take over from us. Let us start educating them. Let us start imparting the knowledge of leadership in them. Let's stop degrading them. Let's stop taking away their culture and their dignities. I turn on the social media. Everybody, yes, they're talking fine. The news, same thing. But who's telling who what? Who's becoming more informed? How are you becoming more informed? What did you learn from today's news? Oh, a couple of people get hold with some pellets of cocaine and that's it. We don't want to see that. People frightened to talk because they can be locked up. They're frightened to come on social media to represent themselves because they might charge for cybercrime. I mean, we got to stand up to the system now. We must stop being too much afraid. It is Poli-Tricks time. I'm telling you that. Stop believing in the political system that takes you nowhere. Stop. Where have we gone for the past 54 years of independence? Think about it. Where have we gone? What has it taken us to where? Can somebody tell me? Where have we gone for the past 54 years of independence? Nowhere. It's ya you, ya me. I bulge out you, or you bulge out me on. I want to say these, save these last minutes for the black population. And I need you who are looking as a parent to talk to your children. Talk to yourselves after tonight. What are we gaining? Seriously. We are behind. We have been left behind. Where are we going as a black population? We got people smoking more weed in the corner. We got more crimes committed within our community. We got more predators and child sex. Crimes are going on, child abuse. We got more prostitution. We got women who are now involved in criminal behavior. I mean, where are we going as a black population? Let us stand up and own up to our responsibility as men and women. Men, take charge of your home. Seriously. I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, but I tried. And if I fail, I still have to try again. Stand up and take that responsibility. Women, stand up and take the responsibility of being committed towards creating and making a difference in your community. This thing is not all about money and prostitution and gain and independence. It's about making a better tomorrow for your children. Because an independent man or an independent woman cannot see the goodness of the Creator. It can only be done when you're together. as a family and as a husband and wife, or as a father and a mother. That's the only way these things can happen. Everybody's talking about an independent culture. What is it? God didn't design that way for you to live. In everything, He designed male and female. How come suddenly you're talking about independent? We are being pushed to an edge that takes away our culture, our morality, and our dignity from us. I mean, let's get serious. All we think about is money, clothes here, and that's it. But these things doesn't make us healthy. It takes away. It takes away the richness of life and the understanding of life. We need to understand that these things, these same things that can deflame us and deteriorate us, we can use it as a tool to build the community and our society as a whole. Check at it. Instead of spending $10,000 on beer, spend $10,000 on seed, a fork, a shovel, a hose, and you can reap far more than that from that $10,000. Let's get real. The last time I talked about a box hand, it's a community banking. We need to start trusting each other as a people and as an ethnic group, and the other ethnic groups capitalize on it and they teach us that we can't trust each other. The culture that we live tells us we can't trust each other. We need to get rid of this culture. We need to stay focused. Our lives and our culture have been swept away from us. The minute you turn up and you look like me, as dark as me, you now become discriminated against because you're being seen as a criminal, person you can't trust. We stigmatize our own selves against our own selves. Father against son, son against brother, mother against daughter. All these things are tearing apart our society. There's so many things happening. You could imagine. The report is covering a report in the United States of America about what is going on in Ukraine. And the guy responding to the reporter that it is now the rise of the Anglo-Saxons. And I'm very much sure that everybody who sat and listened to the words that come out of that man's mouth didn't understood. But you know why I'm being hunted? Because I'm alpha. And alpha does not be hunted, I hunt them. That's why I stand up against anything that wants to oppress and suppress me. Because I will not be the prey. I prefer be the predator. Nobody's going to prey on me. I am going to hunt you. I'm going to expose you. And I'm going to teach my people every single day about the things that is demoralizing to them, their culture, their nature, and their way of life. Nobody means nothing for us. Nobody's doing anything for us. The only people can do for us is us, ourselves. We need to wake up. Too many things is happening around us. We need to wake up and see what is there for us. Look, man, I've been given the opportunity tonight to use this space and this time so I can come to you live. I know it's a new background, but it's not mine. It's a brother who cares a lot and wants to do a lot for the Gavin Matthews show, who gave me his time and also his space, which is in his building, so I can do this show because I wasn't on for a couple of days. And he indicated to me that he missed the show and he would really like the education process to continue. I hope that if tomorrow may all goes well, I can be in my own space so I can bring to you the live once again. It's it's really nice to know that there's someone who's always looking and willing to lend a helping hand. We need to increase this unity among us. The individual that I'm talking about, yes, is a black man, he's a family, and to me, he wants to process the growth of the Gavin Matthews show and the educational standard that it brings in the information sector and on the internet information technology, and wants to promote it even more. So I'm going to use this time to say to you that support the Black Love brand. It helps to support, and then the reason why I'm saying so is because I know that there are people who are willing to support and there are people who don't have it. But if you support the Black Love brand, you'll support not only the cause of the struggle that's going on in Guyana, but you will support a movement that is willing to give back to the community, a movement that is willing to strengthen the lives of Black people.
Yes, I think I was cut off there just now, so I want to say thank you very much to those who joined. I want to say to you to stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask, and don't forget what we have talked about earlier tonight. support the Black Love brand. It is there to develop the cause and to make sure that the black mind can be awakened and be educated. So stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself again, wear a mask, and don't forget it once you take it to public places. This is Dr. Matthews saying good night and Cheerios for now.